Have you identified a perfect antiviral candidate to push into the clinic outside of the USA? Then let's have a look at what non-FDA regulatory guidelines require for the exhaustive characterization of antivirals. Today, I'll discuss the regulatory guidelines for antivirals characterization by the European Medicines Agency, EMA. And while I'll mainly discuss EMA, most of the message is also true for other agencies outside of the FDA. First, how do you search for EMA regulatory guidelines? I put the link here to go to the EMA website and then look for Human Regulatory Overview. Under Research and Development, you want to look for scientific guidelines. You will appreciate that there are about 800 scientific guidance documents to date. That also includes concept papers, which we'll discuss a bit later. Most of them are on general principles of clinical development. And you will see here that the first one is actually an ICH guideline. To search for the ones on antivirals, you can type a word here, antiviral, in the search box. Looking at the result of this search, you will appreciate that there are actually very few scientific guidance documents from EMA. I highlight here the 7. All of them are virus specific, so no general guideline on general virology studies like you can find for the FDA. In terms of scientific guidelines, there are 5 of them, 2 on HIV, 1 for treatment and 1 for PrEP, and then 1 on Hep C, 1 on Hep B, and another one on RSV. There are also 2 concept papers, including one on influenza and the other one of COVID-19. Monoclonals. Scientific guidelines at EMA are binding, meaning that EMA expects you to follow them. On the other hand, concept papers are much shorter documents, highlighting the need for a future scientific guideline. Now there is usually a very long time lapse between a concept paper and its corresponding scientific guideline. For instance, the influenza concept paper dates back from 2017. We are now in 2025 and there's still no scientific guideline. So in a way, for whatever little detail is in there, the concept paper can be considered as binding as well. Looking at the 5 scientific guidelines for the different viruses mentioned, there is actually very little detail on preclinical characterization. It's about 1 page, and most of the document is on clinical characterization. But coming back to preclinical, it is actually a list of experiments that EMA expects you to perform. These experiments are the usual ones for any antiviral, and they are the same as described by FDA. Now the FDA gives much more detail on how they want you to perform the experiment. So if you need more guidance on that, I actually advise you to look at the FDA documents. This advice is true for all other agencies outside of FDA. So basically only the FDA has a very detailed preclinical characterization of antivirals document. All the other ones, be it UK, China, Japan, etc., Australia, Austria, what you want to think of, they don't have that level of detail. So look at the FDA document, I guess, is my main message. Similar to the FDA, EMA has a YouTube channel, and I put the link to it here. There are multiple useful playlists, and I want to highlight in particular one, which is a regulatory toolkit for small and medium enterprises. Another playlist is on EMA basics, a third one on a workshop focused on project quality for small and medium enterprises again, and then a fourth one on pre- and post-authorization regulations for small and medium enterprises. And that's it. I hope this short video was useful for you to better grasp what EMA and other non-FDA regulatory agencies expect in terms of preclinical characterization of antivirals. And you, do you have any advice? If that's the case, leave me a comment. Bye bye.